vital start and how they were.
Hey, LeBron, of course you got to wait for the MRI or whatever testing that AD's going to be doing, but how do you deal with that kind of thing, both in the immediate and then even after the game and just talking to him?
Well, I mean, obviously, health is always first when it comes to any of our teammates, and it doesn't change with AD. I mean, that's the most important. So, we know something, and we go from there. But wish the best of news for sure. Especially for AD in general.
This specific game, Denver got a little bit of a lift coming out of halftime, and then it seemed like you guys were able to find something and keep going to it. Thomas Bryant, Max Christie, and Russ, different guys. What did you think the difference was as you close it down?
Always it starts to get defensive stops. We got some defensive stops. We was able to get out and execute offensively. Either on the break, where we was very efficient, and like you said, TB had no idea that he was starting the second half. He was still on the floor where we was drawing up the play. So for him just to staying ready, for him to go out there and give the performance that he had, Russ was phenomenal on both sides of the floor. Finding guys all night, defending, rebounding, and then the big minutes from the Rook and Max was huge for us.
Okay.
Obviously, AD's been an MVP type of candidate for you guys this year, and missing him at any time is tough if he does miss time. But where you guys are now as a team, about a third into the season, have you established some sort of identity, and what is it if you have to move forward for a certain amount of time where you don't have AD?
No, because we haven't done it. Our team is built on having pretty much everyone. So we'll make the adjustment accordingly, but we haven't done it, so we don't know what that will look like.
LeBron, you've been pretty consistent in saying that you and Russ especially need more reps and needed more reps last season. Now that we've kind of seen some of these games, especially Boston game, this game, where you two have been on the floor, been a part of huge rallies, what do you think has adjusted or maybe come of the time you guys have spent on the floor together that's making that fit a little easier?
It's just logged minutes. Stressed that a lot last year. We just didn't have enough time to log enough minutes and know exactly how we wanted to play, how we wanted to work off one another, and how we would be effective. So just a lot of logged minutes and being in the right place at the right time.
When a guy gets hurt, we typically hear the same things, right? Like, not one guy can replace him, especially when it's AD or like it's an X men out mentality. But it seemed like in the third quarter, the fourth quarter, like all that stuff came to like real fruition, where everybody who played had a hand in it. Everybody else did a little bit more, maybe instead of any but one person trying to take over. What can kind of that do for a team when 8 or 9 guys walk out tonight feeling like I played a big role in this?
I mean, it's huge. I mean, especially after the heartbreak loss we had against Boston, for us to come back a couple of nights later and kind of play well at times, and then go get down and then make a rally, and the guys off the bench making the biggest impact for the game. I think it was huge. I mean, like you said, Russ, AR, Troy, Max, and Thomas, they were phenomenal. I mean, and when you look at it, they're all in the plus. And every single minute, all the efforts that we got from them was huge.
LeBron, changing the subject a bit, I know you're a big soccer fan, and the World Cup final is on Sunday. There's a Liverpool guy in there with France, but two greats, Messi against Mbappe. Who you got?
I'm not gonna choose. What time is the match actually?
7 a.m.
7 a.m. Okay, cool. So I can get up and watch it. I just want to see a great match like the rest of the world, besides who's ever rooting for France or Argentina. So we will see. I mean, it's going to be a great one, and look forward to seeing two of the greatest that ever played in the sport go at it. So it'll be fun.
Last question, Marcelino.
LeBron, when you contrast like the Boston game and the game like tonight, through the course of your career, what do you think have been the determining factors that influence whether a team can execute down the stretch?
In what sense? What do you mean? From one game to the next game, or just down?
Yeah, in a specific game and when the game is tight.
Well, I mean, one, chemistry is always very key. Depending on how long you've been with that club, or the the games that you've been in. Have you been in close games? Have you been in tight games? Have you been in pressure situations with a group out on the floor where you kind of know, like, okay, well, this is what we're going to go to. This is how we know we're going to execute. So, you know, in my experience, I've been able to be a part of both, where you have some inexperienced, lineups or inexperienced teams that can't quite figure out because they haven't logged enough minutes, they haven't logged enough games or enough experience. And then obviously I've been a part of teams that's been through so many battles that adversity meant nothing, because that's when you literally like thrive in those moments, in those adverse moments. So, every team, and depending on how long you've been with that club or the chemistry that you have with that club, will determine that, the outcome of some of those late games.
Thanks, Elgin.
Let's get ready for Hoop Jab.